needs downtime just like our bodies. We sleep at night so our bodies can rest for a period, but our brain keeps going with dreams. It never has a break. I would like my brain to cut down on the dreams and get back on the job for me during the day. As I get older, I'm losing my vocabulary, too. It's not funny. I can't find words. Not even big words, just simple words. I'll start talking and I can't access a word I need. For instance, like, see? Even now, I can't think of the word. I'm not sure what's happening to me. It's like there's a Bermuda Triangle inside my brain swallowing up all the words I've kept in there for 44 years. Not that I spoke the first year, but I know I listened to words. I'm sure I absorbed some things like, she's wet again, you can change her. Or, boy, she's a fat baby, when's she going to get some hair? Or, I sure hope she's got some talent, 'cause she's not much to look at. Or, that Studebaker sure is a good car, I'm investing all of our savings in that company. No, darling, let's leave it in asbestos. How about we do half and half? That's a great idea. And I'm sure you've experienced this one. You know when you've forgotten what you were going to say, even as it's coming out of your mouth? You're gabbing away to a friend. Hey, you know what? What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Now you're forcing your friend to participate somehow. We were talking about floor lamps. No. Mariah Carey? No. Suddenly it's like you're playing the $10,000 pyramid. Things that taste like chicken. Things a monkey would wear. Yes, that's right. We were talking about tiny hats. It's terrible when you forget what you were going to say after 2 words, but what's worse than that, really, is forgetting what you were going to say when you've been talking for a while. You know, like when you're at a dinner party and a whole group of people are talking, discussing some heavy subject matter, and you don't really have an opinion on it, and then suddenly you think, yeah, maybe I do. So you jump in there to share your opinion, and all of a sudden you realize you've got a pretty good opinion to share. When your friends hear this opinion, they're going to be blown away by how smart you are. They had no idea that you were so smart, and they'll be shocked and impressed that you'd come up with such an interesting point of view. And you start congratulating yourself, and then you start celebrating, and because of celebrating, you completely forget the point you were trying to make. And you're still talking. And they're looking at you like, you don't know what you're talking about, and you don't, but you can't let them know that, so you just keep talking, praying that the point will come back to you, and not only does the point not come back, but now you've completely forgotten the subject that everybody was talking about. You really start sweating. You have to loosen your tie if you're a man, or Diane Keaton, or Avril Lavigne. Then you try to jump out of it by saying any sort of generic statement that comes to mind. Well, 6 of one, half a dozen other. It's a slippery slope, my friend. Teach a man to fish, and, there's no I in team. Is there any more Merlot? I don't remember anything from school, either. I don't know where Borneo is, or South Dakota. I mean, I have a pretty good idea where it is in relation to North and East Dakota, but otherwise I'm lost. And I wouldn't know the difference between a sine and a cosine if they jumped out in front of me, naked in the middle of the street. Here's all I remember of the Declaration of Independence. When in the course of human events, bippity-boppity-boop. I have no idea what a conjunction is. I don't even know how I thought of the word conjunction. But even though I may not be book-learning smart, I still consider myself to be street smart, meaning I think that I usually know what street I'm on. And common sense-wise, I think I'm pretty smart, too. Yet every single time I drive my Toyota Land Cruiser into an underground parking lot, I duck because the ceiling doesn't seem high enough, and by ducking, I'm helping my car make it. Plus, if by some chance we scrape the ceiling, my head will be protected. Or, let's say I'm walking out of my house and I've just had a banana. I have my banana peel in one hand and my car keys in the other. I throw my car keys in the trash and walk out with my banana peel. The other day I found my iron in the freezer, and the only reason I found it is that I was looking for my sunglasses. Sometimes I get a little down when I realize I'm never going to be as smart as I'd like to be, so I've come up with a few little tricks to make me feel better. You're welcome to try them out if you feel like it. I mean, you bought this audiobook. You deserve that much. If, however, you're borrowing this audiobook from a friend, I'd suggest you give your friend a few bucks, or better yet, send me a few bucks. One way I find to start feeling better about myself is to take a good look at really smart people I admire, people who have accomplished something and seem to be extremely successful in the world. I really take a hard look at them, examine them. How did they do it? What do they have that I don't have? What makes them so special? Who do they think they are? They're stupid. They think they're so cool. Well, they're not. And presto, by making somebody look worse, magically you look better. But even though the above method might make you look good to yourself, it's not going to do diddly, or p-diddly, which I believe is the current expression, as far as the rest of the world sees you. For that, you need to be the next best thing to actually being smart, which is, of course, pretending to be smart. How do you do that, you ask, scratching your head, a quizzical expression on your face, perhaps a long blade of grass between your teeth? For one, big words make other people think you're smart. Remember, long words are better than small words, even if it's a bunch of small words. Here's a word you can use. Kitchenette. It's a small kitchen. For instance, "Oh, you have such a nice small kitchen" is not nearly as impressive as, "Oh, you've got a lovely kitchenette, don't you now?" I added "don't you now" to sound a little bit English. They all seem smart. If you can do a good English accent, you don't even have to use long words. It's almost better not to. Then you could just come off snobby. Another way to appear smarter than you actually are is to have a few trivial facts at your disposal. Once you've memorized a few of these facts, just sprinkle them into your ordinary conversation like sprinkles, I guess. Here are a few that I use. Telemachus. In Greek mythology, the son of Odysseus and Penelope, who helped his father kill Penelope's suitors. I'm not sure how you'll use this, so never mind. Oh, how about Zwitter ion? In physics, an ion carrying both a positive and a negative charge, thus forming an electrically neutral molecule. Example, oh look, there's a Zwitter ion. Albertus Seba was an apothecary. He was born in 1665 in the East Frisian town of Etzel. I have no idea what an apothecary is or where the heck Frisia is. So if I'm asked, I usually just point at something in the distance and run in the opposite direction. You can always try alpacas communicate by humming and spitting. But then again, so does my grandmother. And what if none of these methods work? What if you can no more pull off pretending to be smart than actually be smart? Well, there's no need to get depressed. Maybe smartness or smartiness or smartinessness just isn't for you. Which is okay, because if you look around, you'll see that people who are not smart have achieved success in every realm of endeavor. Look at politics. Look at sports. Look at who's on TV and in the movies. You're not going to see a lot of smarties. Look at me. I'm not all that smart, and yet the accountant who I authorized to take care of all my finances told me that I made literally hundreds of dollars last year. Feel better? Good. That's what I'm here for. Now, if you'll excuse me, I seem to only be using 8% of my brain right now. I'm going to go on a little expedition to look for the other 2%. If I'm not back in a couple of days, don't worry. Something shiny must have distracted me.